Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera dan terima kasih kepada semua peserta yang apa ni yang adalah dan terima sekali our speaker Cik Masri dapat meluangkan masa untuk menjayakan program Winback Talk ni. Okey, program ni sebenarnya salah satu saluran untuk memupuk dan melahirkan ramai lagi individu untuk menjadi seorang leader. Sebab dalam kalangan kita ni mungkin ramai leader tapi dia tak start shining itu belum berapa nampak. So mungkin dari program-program begini boleh menyerlahkan lagi dorang punya start lah. So hari ini kita akan berpeluang mendengar perkongsian ataupun talk dari salah seorang leader kita yang memang kita kenal dia dari OE, Encik Masri, Head of OE Department. Tapi rasanya untuk biodata tu saya rasa saya teruskan saja dengan Cik Masri lah. Silakan Cik Masri.
Okay, boleh Kak. Thank you Kak. Okay. Good afternoon to all. Okay, again, thank you lah for allocating your punya time ni kan untuk session kita petang ni. Okay. I think we treat this session macam informal lah. Okay, so ini pun I think is my first time bagi leadership talk macam ni. So semalam pun saya terfikir lah macam mana nak start dengan leadership talk ni. Okay. So bila saya tengok balik yang previous session yang Najmi buat tu, okay lah, adalah some ideas sikit kan. Okay. I think the focus is more on sharing experience in terms of how kita punya leadership ataupun kita punya leadership quality itulah being developed throughout time dia tu kan. Okay. Oh, sekejap saya ada call daripada Ihsan. Saya drop dia lah. Okay. Alright. So I will go almost similar approach dengan previous leader bila dia buat sharing tu. I will start dengan from my background lah. Okay. Maybe in terms of bila saya start from sekolah lagi. Okay. And then you go for university and then lepas tu you punya working life lah. Okay. And then for me ni I think saya agak lain sikit sebab dari segi working experience tu saya join Petronas when I was already working like berapa tahun no? I think more than 10 years sudah lah. Okay. So basically I don't start from Petronas lah. Okay. So Petronas ni actually my fourth company. So I have experience different type of leadership lah at different company punya lah. Okay. So later on when I share tu nanti I'll mention lah some of the pro and con and some of yang I think Petronas in terms of developing leaders tu the system yang kita ada tu ataupun the environment yang kita ada tu actually is very good lah. Okay, as compared to some of the company that I have worked before lah. Okay, right. So before that, I think it will be good kalau kita dapat introduce ourselves dulu lah dengan siapa yang ada kat sini kan, especially yang exact yang being invited ni lah. Okay, at least I know you punya background tu, how long have you been working, ataupun sebelum ini whether you pernah working from other company apart from Petronas lah. Okay, alright. So I think I go for the list atas ni lah kan, start from including finance punya ni juga boleh kah? Ataupun nak go for yang invited ni saja?
Invited je lah.
Invited je lah. Okay, kalau tak macam banyak.
Panjang
banyak.
Okay, I start from the name list lah dari atas ni kan. Okay, Della dulu lah.
Yeah, hi all. I'm Della. So currently TC maintenance, and then my background is actually economy planning and development. And then I fresh grad, and then join Petronas.
So your first company memang terus Petronas terus lah kan? Yalah.
Ya, ada join syarikat lainnya tapi itu pun 3 bulan je lah. Then dapat Petronas.
Okay, alright.
Okay.
Okay, thank you Della. Okay, next is Michael.
Okay, good afternoon to all. I'm S. Mikhail. Currently as MSc lah, Plan 1, Maintenance Activity Coordinator. Sebelum ni, ini company ketiga saya untuk level exec lah. Background electrical, but now sudah 4 tahun doing planning lah. Bos.
Sebelum ni level lain ada kah, SBK? Cakap sebagai exec ni 3 company kan?
Masih sebab sebelum ni saya engineer electrical. Sama level lah.
Okay. Alright. So, in terms of work experience, berapa lama dah? Total
Kalau
lah.
overall total actually dalam pekerjaan I think mau dekat 15 tahun kot.
Lama juga tu.
Ya. Pernah di KL kerja 7 tahun as a technician, and then bila saya sambung belajar degree, and then baru masuk exec lah.
I see. Alright. Okay. Thank you, SBK. Alright. Next, go.
Saya baru graduate juga. Saya join Petronas 2018. Background saya mechanical engineering. So PML is my first company since I graduated. Itu saja.
Okay. Alright. Rizwan?
Hi, my name is Rizwan. So this is my first time working. So I directly from PTP then joined Petronas. Previously I was in KSCC for 9 months. and then jangan kacau lah. And then I come here I already in methanol for past 2 years lah. Now serving the 3rd year in Petronas.
3rd year from Petronas kan?
Yeah, 3rd year in Petronas.
So, kira macam this will be your first OPU juga kan?
Yes, OPU the first, but in KSCC have been 8 months, 9 months. Saya pindah sini.
Okay, thank you Rizwan.
Alright.
Next, Rajwe baru join lah. Okay, saya tengok nama dia terus masuk, then terus introduce lah. Rajwe?
Hello, good evening.
Just introduce yourself and your work experience. How long have you been with Petronas? Kalau ada past previous company ke apa kan?
Okay, been in Petronas. Hello everybody, my name is Rashfir Singh from HSC. Been in Petronas for about maybe 5 years. Previous OPU was from Dagangan KL, and then previously before that I was in Sabah region lah. So before Petronas I was working in a lot of different companies.
Okay.
So that's all lah for me.
Alright. So total work experience tu agak-agak berapa lama tu Rajwe semua tu? Total semua?
Wow, total I'm since 21, I'm 39. So how long has that been? Maybe 18 years maybe. Yeah.
18 years, okay.
Yeah.
We always have the similar working experience biar lama, no? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, thank you Rashwe. Okay, next Pulang.
Assalamualaikum, selamat petang.
Selamat petang.
Okay, nama Rasha Rizam lah, aka Fulap. Okay, saya dengan Petronas sudah 6 tahun. Previously pun ada bekerja selama ada bekerja 4 tahun di luar lah. This is my 3rd company actually.
Okay.
Cuma last year je tukar profession daripada technical kepada non-technical.
Okay. Alright. Okay, thank you Fulam.
Okay,
alright. Next, Jaja. Jaja ada? Dia tengah mute kot. Cakap suara-suara.
Halo Jaja.
Jaja dapat dengar?
Putus internet dia.
Putus ke? Okay, tak apalah. Nanti dia introduce diri sendiri lah. Okay. Alright, okay. Thank you all. Okay. So let me share my screen. Okay, leadership talks ya. Okay, dapat nampak kan saya punya screen?
Nampak.
Alright.
Nampak.
So basically nanti what I'll do is I'll just share my macam previous punya working experience sebab I think saya pun pernah bekerja dengan different company kan, as I mentioned tadi tu, and then I experienced different kind of leadership lah, and then maybe later on we talk about sedikit comparison dengan Petronas lah, why I feel Petronas is the best environment lah untuk develop in terms of leadership tu kan. Okay, so let me introduce myself. Okay, my name is Masri Tu. Okay, even though ada bin tu, actually I'm non-Muslim, ada banyak confusion juga lah kadang-kadang ni. So bila saya pergi 2 bulan attachment dekat Ketih, hari tu pun quite challenging juga tu kalau time puasa tu. So orang tengok saya makan kan, jadi rasa pelik sikit lah, especially dekat hotel tu. Okay, so the reason is because I'm Melanau lah actually, from Sarawak. So kalau Melanau ni even some in Sabah also they have bin kan. Okay, and then furthermore dengan nama saya yang almost like Muslim punya name Masri ni lagi lah create confusion kan kadang-kadang. Okay.
Yeah, bos macam Johannes bin right?
Yeah, even Reynolds pun sama juga tu. Reynolds bin Longkot tu kan. Cuma dia tak selalu pakai nama bin tu lah.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm from Sarawak. Okay. Melanau. Okay. And then as mentioned by Kak Julia tadi tu, I'm currently the head of Operation Excellence lah. Okay. Since 2000 baru juga sebenarnya 2018. Okay. So coming August nanti it will be 1 year lah saya jadi head of Operation Excellence ni. Okay. And then previously I was holding the manager position for operational improvement. That one pun saya pegang sekejap saja since 2017. So the gap between OI manager dengan head punya OE itu is about 1 year. Okay. And then with the current punya OER2 punya structure ni pun there is no there is no need for us to have operation improvement yang manager lah. Okay. So everything nanti go direct to OE head saja, right? And then before this, I was executive. When I joined Petronas, I joined as executive lah. Okay, under operation improvement though. Okay, so under operation improvement ni biasanya when we are in OI ni kita selalu rotate kita punya function tu. So dalam OI ni dia ada banyak function, contohnya macam change management, performance reporting, buat assurance and so on tu. Okay, so it's good that kalau dekat PC Metanol ni kita keep changing dia punya exec tu. Every 2 years macam tu kita tukar dia punya function. As compared to certain OPU yang saya observe, kalau dia buat change management tu sampai 8 tahun, 10 tahun pun dia buat change management saja. So dari segi macam development ataupun exposure sana mungkin kurang sikit lah. Okay. So kalau kita keep changing kita punya roles ni, bagusnya kita learn new thing lah. Okay. At the same time in terms of leadership tu dia dapat dapat develop kita punya leadership quality juga, because some roles tu required different type of leadership. Okay, maybe some roles tu you have to you have to work with other people ataupun work with other department more as compared to role yang lain contohnya. Okay, right? And then how long have I been in PC Metanol? Total is 8 years. Actually baru hari itu masuk 8 years juga. Semalam 18 Jun. Okay. So exactly 8 tahun dekat PC Metanol. Okay. dari segi work experience tu, I've been working for the last 20 years lah. Okay. The longest that I've stayed in one company, masih my first company, is a Japanese company, which I will explain sikit nanti lah. Okay. Then I've been working with 4 different companies. Yeah. Right. So from what I observe, having worked with 4 different companies ni, in terms of leadership, the way management style, memang ada lain lah. Okay. Dia ada pro dengan con dia juga. Okay. From every companies yang saya pernah kerja lah. Okay. Right. So that's about me. Okay. So ada soalan apa? Kalau you ada soalan, you just slot in ya. Boleh ya? Okay. Next, let me start with where I'm coming from. Okay. So as I mentioned tadi, I'm from Sarawak. Okay. To be more specific to, actually I'm coming from Dalat. Ada nampak sini ya? There's a small district sini. We call it Dalat. Okay. So it's quite rural punya area actually. So when I start my early education tu, my first school dulu is Sekolah Rendah Kerajaan Semeud Dalat. Okay. So dulu when I start my primary school tu is around the 80s lah kan, the 80s macam tu. So dari segi macam transportation apa semua tu memang that time masih not so good lah, not so good as currently kan. Okay. So dekat sekolah tu itself, I think almost 99% ataupun almost 100% is from my own orang kampung punya. Okay. So maksudnya is almost 99% Melanau lah. Okay. So the other rest tu memang almost tak ada. Unless kalau ada macam government servant yang datang dengan family dia, so maybe dia anak ada 1 ataupun 2 orang yang sekolah kat sana lah. Okay. So it's a bit enclosed rasa dia sebab you tak expose dengan the others punya dekat luar tu. Okay. Let me give one example kan yang saya experience tu. When saya move outside from Dalat punya kan, when I start to school dekat secondary school dekat Miri lah lepas tu. Okay. Kalau dekat Sarawak ni typically people bercakap pasal apa tu bahasa Melayu Sarawak kan. So dekat sekolah saya dulu people tak cakap bahasa Melayu Sarawak tu. People cakap Melanau most of the time. And then kita orang punya cikgu tu, cikgu bahasa Malaysia biasanya dari Semenanjung lah, okay, yang datang tu. Okay. So dia ajar kita bahasa Malaysia. So bila kita cakap tu, bila saya keluar daripada sekolah rendah saya kan, saya pergi sekolah menengah saya, pergi dekat Miri sana. Saya tak pernah dengar orang cakap bahasa Melayu Sarawak sebelum ni. So bila saya cakap BM dengan dia orang, saya punya slang tu memang bahasa Melayu Semenanjung. Sebab cikgu kami orang daripada Semenanjung. So memang agak pelik sikit lah during that time tu. Okay. So tapi slowly lah kita lama-lama kita fit in lah. Okay, dekat secondary school tu. Okay. So my secondary school dulu dekat Sekolah Menengah Sains Miri, dekat Miri, sekolah bersama penuh lah. Okay. Bila saya dapat saya punya result UPSR dulu, actually there are several offer. Ada yang nak pergi the first offer was pergi Sekolah Menengah Sains Selangor kalau tak salah saya. So my parent pun tak agree lah sebab dia terlalu jauh kan. Okay. So baru nak masuk form 1 macam tu kan. So at the end tu kita pergi Sekolah Menengah Sains Miri lah. Okay. So again in terms of leadership kan, saya nak relate sikit dengan leadership. Normally kalau dekat sekolah ni, in order for us to show kita punya leadership tu, develop kita punya leadership quality, normally kita start dengan if you are being appointed as macam ketua kelas ataupun pengawas kan. Okay. So that's where you start to have your responsibility sana lah. Okay. And then again, sebelum saya go further, leadership ni dia tak sama macam bos kan. Kita selalu tengok yang apa nama tu, yang dalam Facebook ataupun dalam internet tu, the difference between boss dengan leadership tu. Okay. So maybe you all boleh share lah sikit kot. What is the difference between leadership dengan boss tu? Yang biasa you all tengok kan dalam Facebook apa semua tu kan. So what is the character of a leader? What is the character of a boss? Ada siapa? Siapa nak jawab? Sorry, terforward lah. Ada orang nak reply?
Maybe I'll have a go lah.
Okay. Okay, go.
I mean, we see a lot of like macam, common comics when you see show leadership works with you, and then boss is the one that is at the top and asking people questions, not participate. So I guess line between leadership and boss is leadership. They kind of put themselves in the shoes of their subordinates and work with you, but the boss just demands and reports to you.
Yes, correct. Alright. So typically boss ni biasanya kita relate dengan title lah kan. Boss ni biasanya relate dengan title. Kalau you ada title macam ketua jabatan, ketua kelas, pengawas, apa semua tu kan. So that is what boss meaning lah. Dia maksudnya dia ada title tu. Okay. Kalau macam leaders ni, dia more to how you behave, you punya action dengan the example ataupun model you give to others punya tu. So as mentioned tadi tu, even though you appointed as ketua kelas ke dekat sekolah kan, ataupun pengawas ke, yeah. So basically dia help you develop you punya leadership punya quality, tapi it doesn't mean you as a leader already, So even though you bukan ketua kelas ataupun pengawas ke during school kan, it doesn't mean you don't have that leadership quality tu. Kalau for example you have a follower, okay, kadang-kadang ada kadang-kadang ada dalam bila kita sekolah kan, ada certain gang ataupun group of student tu kan. Leadership ini kadang-kadang boleh go into negative way juga. Contohnya geng-geng budak nakal lah, for example kan. And then you tengok ada satu leader dia tu, that also a leadership juga sebenarnya. Betul kan? Sebab leaders ni dia ada follower dia. Okay? Dia ada example atau action dia yang menyebabkan orang ikut dia. Okay? Tapi apa yang kita nak fokuskan is a good leadership lah. Okay? Bukannya bad leadershipnya. Okay? Tapi itulah yang jawatan tu, title macam pengawas, ketua pengawas, you jadi pengerusi persatuan ke apa semua kan. It helps you to develop your leadership, but it's not necessary that you have that leadership quality, even though you pernah pegang that kind of role lah. Okay, itu yang saya nak emphasize sini lah sebenarnya. Okay, alright. So anyone want to add in kah? Kalau boleh kita buat interaktif sikit lah. Kalau you have other opinion ataupun ni lah. Okay, boleh ya? Alright. So let me continue. Okay. Okay. After I pergi sekolah menengah sains Miri ni, okay. I was fortunate lah. Actually I was given macam beasiswa kecil Petronas waktu tu. Okay. So from Form 1 to Form 5. So at least ada some helps lah. Okay. Untuk bantu saya punya ni, okay, study dekat sekolah menengah sains Miri tu, okay. And then dekat Miri ni pun waktu tu I think pengaruh Shell kan, dekat sana kita ada Sarawak Shell Berhad tu kan, dia punya pengaruh tu actually kuat dekat sekolah, which I think dekat I think Petronas, I'm not sure now lah, mungkin sekarang dah better kot dari segi aktiviti dia yang dia nak expose dekat student kan, dekat sekolah tu, okay. Sebab bila Shell sangat banyak buat. So bila kita keluar tu lepas SPM kan, kita punya aspiration tu memang kalau boleh kita nak kerja dengan Shell lah. Okay. So that was kita orang punya mindset lah that time lah. Sebab dia orang selalu buat macam aktiviti pergi sekolah, career talk and so on lah. Okay. So that actually inspired lah. Okay. And then I was quite fortunate selepas SPM that time I was offered with Sarawak Shell punya scholarship lah. Okay. So it's quite difficult to get the scholarship sebab normally yearly tu between Sabah dengan Sarawak tu Sabah Shell Berhad ke something like that juga dengan SSB Sarawak Shell Berhad. Normally they offer around I think maybe around 7% macam tu untuk overseas punya study lah. Okay. So I was quite fortunate, they were given the opportunity untuk ambil the scholarship. So I continue my study tu dekat UK lah. Okay. So this is my picture waktu saya punya graduation. Okay. This is chemical engineering final year tahun 1999 lah. Okay. So gambar ni agak blur sikit lah. Okay. Boleh nampak saya sana. Ujung-ujung sekali tu.
Wah, nampak.
So, boleh lah. So kecil lah, kecil. Okay. So bila kita given scholarship tu dulu, kita buat A-level dekat Lavera College. Dia buat macam sandwich punya course lah. It's very fast punya. Okay. So kita join macam September 95. And then habis in September I think ataupun summer lah macam I think June 1996 macam tu. Okay. To qualify us to go into university lah. Okay. So they call it a very macam sandwich punya course kah. So it's very fast punya lah. 1 year punya complete A-level. And then lepas tu I continue my study ambil chemical engineering. And then graduated 1999 lah. Okay. So kalau nak tengokkan jumlah student satu department ni nampak macam tak banyak lah. Yang lecturer ni pun quite a few juga sini ni. Mungkin dekat 10 orang kot lecturer. Yang ini sini ini semua lecturer ni. Okay. Yang belakang ni pun ada lecturer juga ni. And then one of my friend yang ni I'm not sure you all kenal. Yang ni Abdullah Sidi lah. Okay, sekarang dia head production dekat Samo sana. Okay.
Kenal.
Right. Kenal lah. Right. Dulu dia pun dekat metanol juga. Dulu dia pun pernah jadi head OE dekat metanol ni. Head OE dekat metanol, lepas tu pergi manufacturing sekejap. And then jadi head TSD dekat Samo, sekarang jadi head operation dekat Samo lah. Okay. So one of saya punya ni lah classmate dulu, right? So again, time university ni dari segi leadership punya ni actually tak adalah banyak sangat dia punya ni sebab kebanyakan aktiviti yang kita involve pun dengan yang macam Malaysian student macam tu kan. So aktiviti yang lain tu kurang lah. Okay. So nak join club-club yang lain tu agak kurang sikit. Okay. So that's my university punya life. Okay. And then second year dekat university ni, just to share, yang ni gambar tahun 98 ni. Kita ada buat lah training dekat Sarawak Shell juga. I think about macam 3 bulan macam tu lah. Sekejap saja. Okay. So yang ni saya. Okay. Yang ni Abdullah Sidi tadi tu. Okay. Ini coverall Shell lama kan. Kita ada reflector. Saya rasa ni bukan yang macam Nomex macam yang sekarang ni. Okay. So location gambar ni dekat BOCC Bintulu saya rasa ni. Bintulu punya Operation Control Center. Okay. Basically yang ni dia monitor offshore punya field lah. Okay. We have unmanned punya field dekat Bintulu, contohnya macam M field punya kan, M1, M2, M3 semua tu kan. So biasanya dia orang control daripada sini lah. Okay. if I'm not mistaken, sekarang operation dia is under Petronas rasanya. Dia dah handover dah. Okay. So again, during this training ni pun sama jugalah. Kita pun ada experience how people in Shell work. I think they are more based on my experience lah. Waktu saya buat industry training kan, they are more apa nama tu? Apa orang cakap yang spontan, kendo sikit dari segi feedback macam tu. Okay. So dia lebih open lah. Dia tak ada yang kalau you nak bagi feedback yang tak bagus tu yang apa berbelit-belit dia punya bahasa tu. Okay. Kadang-kadang kita tak nak direct kan, tegur orang kan. So kalau environment kat sana tu memang dia very apa kendo kan orang cakap. Okay. Right. So that's one of my experience. Okay. And then after saya graduate, maybe you wondering kan kenapa saya tak kerja dengan Shell kan. Okay. So bila kita graduate tu tahun 1999 kan. 1999 kalau for those yang masih ingat, mungkin time tu apa yang berlaku dekat negara kita?
Economic crisis. Economic crisis.
Economic crisis kah?
1999.
Tu apa? Reformasi ya?
Tak ingat dah.
Economic crisis. Okay. Economic crisis. So bila ada crisis macam tu, Sarawak Shell waktu tu actually they retrench a lot of people. That's why one good about Petronas ni, kalau ada crisis apa-apa dia jarang retrench people kan. Only a few years back lah yang itu pun about 1,000 je kan. Yang waktu 2015 hari tu, waktu oil drop tu. Okay. So for Shell ataupun ada company macam Schlumberger kan, kita tengok bila ada economic crisis macam tu memang dia terus drastic lah. So by the time kita graduate hari tu, I think tahun 99 saya graduate, 98 the year before tu they retrench about 1,000 punya people kah. Yang ni dekat Sarawak Shell Berhad saja ya. Okay. So some of the members kita orang ada buat sharing jugalah yang dia punya CEO waktu tu kan buat macam town hall, dia invite dekat Dewan Suara dekat Miri tu. Memang CEO dia memang berat hati lah nak announce benda tu sampai dia pun macam menangis lah orang cakap. Okay. So one thing good about leadership, ini leadership quality lagi lah kan dekat Shell ni. Dia punya leaders tu is very people orientated nya. Okay. I still remember bila kita buat industrial training ni, kita trainee je sebenarnya, kita join sana trainee je kan. And then the first day tu bila kita join sebagai trainee ni, dia punya CEO ni dia ajak kita orang semua lunch dengan dia semua. So dia nak tahu what is our expectation apa semua, santai-santai lah. Dia macam ajak lunch dengan trainee ni semua kan. So which is good lah. And then by the end of training pun sama juga, dia nak dapatkan feedback. So by the end of training tu, lepas 3 bulan, dia tanya lah, how do you feel about this training apa semua. It's memang direct punya feedback lah terus dengan CEO. So kalau ada department yang treat dia punya trainee tu buat kerja yang macam doesn't bring value to dia punya apa tu work experience kan, memang ada kena feedback jugalah. Some of our member tu kadang-kadang suruh buat photostat dokumen ke apa semua kan. So memang bagilah CEO cakap memang next time ni dia tak nak bagi trainee lah dengan department ni and so on tu kan. Okay. Tapi basically ni lah dia memang open to feedback. Okay. Right. So as I mentioned tadi, what happened during I graduate tu ada economic crisis, so there's no job opportunity for us. And then one thing about Shell ni, they release us from the bond, so we don't need to pay dia punya apa tu, dia punya scholarship punya ni lah bond tu. Okay. So basically we are able to cari our own ada kerja lah. Okay. So which comes to saya punya first company. Okay. It's a Japanese company dekat Kuching, Tayu Yuden Sarawak nama dia. Okay. So I was there from year 2000 until 2009 no. Okay. This is still my longest period lah dekat one company ya. Okay. So it's a Japanese company, and then I still feel in terms of dia punya apa nama tu, dia punya working environment tu is something that is very productive. Okay. And then kalau kita tengok Japanese punya work ethic tu pun you tahu kan macam mana kan. They are very efficient and then very teratur, okay, which I respect. Yeah. Okay. So this is my office in Kuching dulu. Okay, is one of the biggest company dekat that industrial punya zone lah. Okay. So that time we have almost 4,000 staff at single site. Okay. And then kalau you tengok dari segi ratio to supervisor meaning yang apa nama tu, yang ada degree lah, it's about 100 plus saja. Okay. So 100 plus compared to 4,000. Okay. So with the current kita punya macam PC methanol kan, we want to go for OER2 apa semua empowerment kan. Actually for me lah, this company has reached that level long time ago lah. Okay. So even dekat shift macam tu, we don't have supervisor pun. Okay. Yang paling senior pun is only macam we call it senior technician lah. Okay, senior technician. Okay, dia punya leader tu. Okay. And then as I mentioned tadi, leaders ni is being portrayed by dia punya action kan. Okay. One thing that I still remember when I was working there, Japanese ni they are very particular about 5S contohnya. Okay. So kalau dia nampak sampah macam tu, okay, mungkin kita boleh buat eksperimen kot macam mana kita punya behavior kan dekat methanol ni. Kalau macam dekat this company dulu, I remember kalau you ada nampak sampah kan dekat jalan apa semua tu, the managers they are very much okay in picking up rubbish macam tu. Kalau dia jalan dekat mana-mana, dia kutip sampah di tangan dia, lepas tu dia buang. Okay. So bila leader behave macam tu, jadi staff yang lain pun follow juga, sama juga. So that's why the office environment tu memang ataupun the work environment tu memang sentiasa bersih. Okay. And then even working table pun sama juga. Okay. Dulu saya pun pernah kena tegur macam kalau you punya desk tu is very messy kan. Okay. Banyak kertas apa semua tu. Memang dia orang akan tegur lah. Okay. And then the way Japanese kerja ni, dia tak tegur you marah ataupun apa, you know. Dia buat you rasa feel guilty. Ya. Okay. So they never raise their voice apa semua tu, tapi they make you feel guilty that you rasa you have to comply to that lah. Okay. So that's one thing yang unik lah saya tengok dari segi apa tu Japanese punya leadership punya style. And then when I was working there juga, there's two type of generation juga lah. When you look at Japanese ni kan, the older generation yang mungkin after World War II punya dulu, dia pernah jadi tentera ke apa semua kan. Biasa-biasa ni yang golongan yang director dengan apa nama tu, CEO lah macam tu. So yang datang sebagai advisor tu mostly is the younger punya. Okay. So yang older generation ni, as you know, macam Japanese ni they always stay late kan. So dia orang kan balik macam pukul 8 malam and so on tu. Okay. So it's very rare that dia balik pukul 5 petang macam tu lah. Okay. And then satu lagi yang unik ni, yang older generation ni, saya boleh share sikit dari segi because they are very particular about cleanliness. Okay. So we still remember one of our director dulu tu, bila dia buat walk around semua tu kan, bila dia nampak toilet kotor kan, toilet laki lah. Okay. So apa yang dia buat, dia tak marah. So dia suruh supervisor ataupun line leader ataupun senior tech tu, dia berbaris kat luar tandas tu. So dia ambil tangan dia lap dekat yang laki punya apa tempat buang air tu kan, tahu kan? Okey. Macam tak ada bunyi je semua ni.
Yang fan-nya ke?
Ada.
So apa yang dia buat? Dia ambil tangan dia tu, dia lap tangan dia sendiri kat sana, lepas tu dia jabat tangan semua orang. So just imagine kan macam mana dia nak show benda tu kan. So dia jabat semua tangan supervisor apa semua. So lepas tu then you see the toilet always in clean condition lah lepas tu. Okay. Dia tak marah, dia cuma senyum je. Okay. So that's when one of cara dia orang lah saya rasa Japanese ni. Okay. Right. So that was my first company, and then kalau tengok dari segi produk lah, actually we producing this multi-layer ceramic capacitor kan, okay. So dia punya produk tu memang kecil lah, okay. So kalau kita punya handphone kan, kita pakai dekat TV apa semua tu lah, even car pun sama juga, okay. Handphone kita typically yang smartphone ni, kalau capacitor ni mungkin ada around 200 pieces macam tu, okay. So this is one of kita punya produk lah. Dia ada produk lain juga, ada macam Bluetooth punya, tapi mostly is electronic punya component lah. Okay. So when I join my first company, dulu saya join sebagai plating punya engineer. Okay, plating punya engineer. This is one of the area dekat plating sana lah. Okay. So dia akan plate kita punya capacitor tu. Dekat bahagian luar tu dia ada 3 plating punya layer, copper, nickel dengan tin, okay, solder tu. Okay. So when I join as plating engineer dekat production punya area, and then at the same time saya pun jaga laboratory juga lah. Okay. So plating bath ni kita kena selalu buat analisis kan. So lebih kurang macam kita punya lab di methanol juga. I was taking care of that. So ada few analisis macam pakai IC ke, AAS, and so on tu kan, okay, alat-alat dekat lab, okay. And then lepas tu I move to technical engineer. I look into quality and also buat defect analysis lah, and also do the statistical punya process control juga, okay. And then after that, then I expose to to leadership punya role lah sikit, okay. As section manager dekat plating punya sessions, I was looking after 150 punya staff, okay. So kalau nak compare dengan TC Methanol, mungkin lebih kurang macam production 1 atau plant 2 punya staff number lah, okay. So again in managing punya staff ni, there's a lot of challenge. Nanti saya akan share lah a few tips yang saya boleh share kan, okay. And then my second company was KLIA Consulting, okay. So yang ini I was there for 2 years, okay. It's a GLC punya company. Is doing the project consultant punya lah, okay, for airport punya construction. So during that time I was involved dengan Kuching punya international airport redevelopment, okay, dengan new Mukah punya airport. Ni saya dekat runway dekat Kuching punya ni, okay. So I was the quality assurance manager, okay. My role is to ensure the quality of the work lah, okay. So basically kita buat project management, so we are in between the main con punya tu, dia ada main contractor punya dengan kita punya client lah, which is Ministry of Transport punya tu, okay. And then just for your background, KLIA Consult ni dia is a GLC company yang dulu buat KLIA punya airport lah, okay. So during that time I was requested to do the job dekat KLIA 2 tu sebenarnya. So I don't want to move waktu tu. So that's why I resign from the company and I cari the company that I can work with dekat Kuching juga lah. Okay. So that's why I was about 2 years dekat sini. Okay. But I managed to get involved with 2 project lah. Satu is Kuching International Airport dan satu lagi adalah Mukah punya airport project, which is at design stage lah waktu tu. Okay. Right. In terms of leadership, For this punya company, saya tak ada subordinate apa-apa, tapi basically kita monitor contractor in performing work lah. Okay. So kalau dari segi construction punya ni memang a bit tough lah. Dari segi leadership tu is not a very good punya example lah kalau kita nak ambil sebagai leadership kan. Sebab construction ni dia banyak quite aggressive sikit. Okay. So I think the environment is you have to be tough lah, okay, in terms of working dekat apa nama tu construction punya area, okay. After that I move on to my third company. I was with MEMC lah, okay, MEMC, Monsanto Electronic Material Company. It's a US company, okay. I was in Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri sana for about 1 year, almost 1 year, okay, in 2010. Basically, I was there to learn on how to produce solar punya wafer lah actually, okay. The company later on was renamed as Sun Edison. They take over another company and they call it Sun Edison lah, okay. So after that, the company renamed itself. Okay. This is our ni. I was there for 1 year. Lepas tu, for the next 2 years tu, saya move to our office in Kuching ni lah. Okay. So this is Sun Edison punya, is the new company dekat Kuching punya. Okay. So the product basically buat solar wafer lah. Okay. So there's 2 types of solar wafer, monocrystallite dengan multicrystallite nya. Okay. So when I work there, yang ni waktu saya dekat US dulu. Okay. So I have some of colleagues. One thing that good yang saya observe American way of doing work ni lah. Dia orang punya power distance tu memang almost tiada. Okay. So they treat dia orang punya superior tu more or less sama dengan dia orang punya operator lah. So for example like this guy kan, ini Terry ni dia orang punya supervisor, yang ni dia punya operator ni semua ni. Okay. So this guy is engineer lah. Okay. So I was there to learn dia orang punya proses lah. This is the maintenance guy lah yang dekat bawah ni. Okay. Alright. So when I was with MEMC, I was taking care of cleaning punya process lah. They call it cleaning punya process. Okay, the final process in solar wafer punya production. Okay, so I was taking care of about 50 punya staff. Okay, one thing good about this company is dia banyak automation lah, so you don't really have to use a lot of stuff. Okay, so nak handle tu agak senang sikit. Okay, and then after that I move on to Petronas Chemical Methanol. As I mentioned tadi tu, I start as executive. So memang initially tu memang agak pelik lah. So before this, you manage people kan. Okay, when I join Petronas PCML dulu, I don't have subordinate, so I become exec balik macam tu. So which actually I don't mind juga lah. Okay, tapi the experience tu memang lain lah. It's less stress than ni lah. Okay. Tapi during at the same time kita observe lah dari segi leadership other people punya, okay, in Petronas ni. Okay. Okay. So in terms of leadership, again macam saya mention tadi tu, okay, normally kita start at younger age lah. Dekat kita punya background tu kadang-kadang factor leadership style ni dia ada macam-macam. Okay. So dari segi you punya background, your family background, how you being brought up, apa semua tu, and then your experience dekat school and university juga will affect you punya leadership skill bila you go to apa tu working punya environment lah. Okay. And then when I work with different company, Taiyudan for example is a Japanese company, the way they work is different. And then KLIA Consult, GLC is a GLC, the way they work also different because construction side. And then you have ANC, it's an American company. We want to
Hello, boss. Ada breakup.
Yes.
Putus-putus.
Backup, sorry ya.
Putus-putus. Ya.
Putus. Okey, sekarang okey.
Yep. Okay.
Ya.
Sekarang
Okay.
okay. So different company give you different experience lah. Okay. Like for American company, macam yang kita nak buat OER2 sekarang ni, basically we looking at Dow Chemical dulu when we benchmark tu kan. Okay, Dow Chemical tu dulu operate kita punya plan optimal tu kan, OGD kan. Okay, that's what we trying to emulate now lah. Okay, so that dia punya hierarchy in terms of organization tu tak terlalu tinggi lah, hierarchy punya pyramid tu. Okay, meaning that the decision making kita empowered to the shop floor punya people. Okay, right. And then Petronas, one thing about Petronas ni yang saya tengok adalah we going towards how the American companies operate lah, okay, ataupun even some of the Europe punya company operate lah, okay. So we invest a lot in terms of leadership punya program, okay. Kalau you tengok compared to my previous company dulu lah, dia memang jarang invest on this kind of leadership punya program. So that's one good thing yang saya tengok Petronas ni lah, okay. On dia orang punya ni lah, dia punya staff development tu. So take the opportunity, okay. Not only you focus on your technical punya apa tu competence. So kalau ada opportunity, take opportunity, minta daripada dia punya superior untuk ambil some of the leadership punya company, leadership punya training ataupun teknik development itu. Okay, right. Saya tunjuk gambar ni sebab saya teringat one of saya punya production head department dulu yang bagi saya yang I think I remember dia punya advice until sekarang lah. Okay. So sometimes as a leader, bila kita nak suruh somebody untuk buat something kan, the way kita bagi instruction tu pun affect how effective is the task yang dia perform tu. Okay. Dia bagi example kalau kita nak suruh orang sapu lantai for example. Okay. Instead of kita bagi instruction, you sapu lantai ni, okay, maybe you should able bagi instruction something like macam please ensure the floor is clean for example. Okay. The difference is satu, you bagi instruct dia apa yang dia buat. Okay. And then biasanya kalau kita sebagai Asian ni punya culture ni, biasanya kita ikut saja. Okay, we jarang question. Okay, so kita pun sapu lah. Okay, tapi kadang-kadang result dia tak mencapai apa yang superior tu minta. Okay, so when the leader give instruction, for example, please ensure the floor is clean. Okay, so whatever action yang dia ambil tu, dia going towards that objective ataupun goal tu, to make sure that the floor is clean. Okay, ini simple example lah, cleaning the floor tu. Okay, so sama juga dalam kita punya daily punya task ataupun tu kan, it's important to know the reason why we perform some task tu. Okay, one thing that I learned from when I was with MEMC tu is that dia punya operator kat sana kan, compare dengan operator kita bila kita buat dekat dekat Malaysia ni kan, they always questions bila kita bagi arahan macam tu, they always questions why do we need to do this. Okay, so that they understand the reason behind that task tu. Okay, so when they understand the reason tu and then why they need to do that, they can do it more effectively and achieve the goals yang kita nak tu. Okay, so sama jugalah bila kita as a leader ni, okay, kita kena make sure kita punya stakeholder to understand why they need to perform that particular task ataupun why they need to do that. Okay, so itu one of the quote yang from my previous punya leader yang saya boleh ingat lah, yang saya hold until now lah. Okay, But it's not that easy ya. Untuk suruh orang buat macam ni, especially bila kita nak buat something yang very urgent macam tu kan. Okay. So even myself pun sampai sekarang pun sometimes I'm struggling. So it's something that individually kena improve jugalah. Okay. So kena make sure people understand why they perform that particular task tu. Okay. Alright. And then another tools yang saya selalu pakai ni untuk in terms of leadership juga adalah 4M. Okay. So mungkin for those yang selalu buat troubleshooting macam tu kan. Okay. You might familiar with 4M punya konsep lah. Okay. Ataupun nak buat root cause analysis kan. Okay. But you can use this 4M juga untuk leadershipnya. Let's say for example if you are taking care of a section kan. Okay. So you need to make sure that all this 4M ni, man, method, machine and material, some maybe at environment E kan macam tu kan, is in good condition. Okay. Contohnya kalau you jaga satu section, okay, saya jaga OE lah for example kan, as a leader dekat OE ni lah. Okay. So in terms of man, saya kena make sure my staff is competent. So I take care of my staff. They are good, competent, they are well trained, and then I mean they're being taken care in good lah. Okay, in good manner sebenarnya. Okay. Itu dari segi man. Okay, dari segi method sama juga. Method ni work process for work process dekat operational excellence for example. Method, procedure, work process available ke tak? Okay, dokumen untuk dia orang perform task tu ada ke tak? Okay. So sebab kadang-kadang kita ada tendency kalau macam failure kan, contohnya ada macam human error kan, kalau dekat operation kan, staff tersalah tutup valve ke apa semua kan, kadang-kadang kita ada tendensi untuk bagi tahu tu human error, so staff ni training dia tak dia tak tahu buat. Okay. Instead of blaming the staff tu, we should look into macam contohnya dia properly train ke tak. Okay, our system of training tu betul ke tak. Okay. Procedure ada ke tak untuk dia perform that task tu. Okay, benda-benda macam tu. And then dari segi machine sama juga. Kalau you punya area ada machine, involve machine, equipment, kena make sure dia tip top lah. Okay. So kalau macam OE mungkin tak ada lah kot. Sorry ya. Okay. And then the next is material lah. So when you processing something, kadang-kadang you require material kan. Okay. So kena make sure material tu in good condition so that you dapat good result lah. Okay. Right. So ya. Okay, ada soalan? Okay. So you can use this concept 4M ni when you have the opportunity to lead section ataupun organization lah. Okay, right. Yang ni last slide. Okay. As a leader, a great leader create more leaders. Okay. Sometimes ni kita ada tendensi kadang-kadang kita macam kedekut ilmu sikit lah. Kalau leader yang tak bagus lah maksud saya. Okay. So sebab kadang-kadang especially when I first join Petronas dulu kan, kadang-kadang saya ada tengok sedikit lah karakter yang macam people tak nak share information dengan staff dia, macam superior kan macam tu kan, tak nak share, tak nak staff dia develop too much, takut nanti dia take over dia punya task pula, and nanti dia pun tak ada kerja pula macam tu kan. Okay, so we shouldn't think it that way lah. Okay, so kalau boleh as a leader kita kena create develop kita punya subordinate tu, okay, to reach to the level yang kita sendiri ada sekarang. Okay, so meaning one of the main role as a leader ni, kita kena develop kita punya subordinator. Okay. So to make sure that they are par dengan kita. So that when they're able to perform the task as good as us, then kita pun ada lebih banyak opportunity untuk do more thing lah. Okay. Kalau in my previous company dulu yang macam Japanese punya company tu, as a leader tu, you shouldn't busy dengan operational punya issue sangat sebenarnya. Okay. So you should spend 60% of your time punya tu is managing by walking, jangan cakap. Okay, managing by walking, meaning that 40% tu baru you concentrate on all this operational punya issue tu. 60% tu you should be berjalan saja dekat operation punya area tu, engage dengan you punya staff, understand orang punya issue, look for improvement, how to do things better and so on punya tu. Okay, itu yang diorang panggil sebagai management by walking lah. So you just walk around saja, jatuh tengok. Okay. And then cuma dekat Petronas ni, one thing yang saya tengok, kita masih banyak yang macam operational punya leaders lah. Okay. So day to day punya kerja tu banyak decision making tu masih banyak leader yang kena buat. Okay. Something that macam OER tu nanti kita perlu by having this OER tu nanti kita move towards empowerment tu. Okay, decision making tu is being done by the staff. Okay, rather than macam leaders making judgment. Okay, so itu something that I think as an organization kita kena improve lah, right? So I think itu saja. Leadership, as I mentioned earlier, leadership is not a position or title, it's an action and also an example, right? Okay. So itu saja slide saya. Sorry ya, dah terlajak sikit, lebih pukul 5. Okay. So ada soalan tak?
Encik Azri. Nak tanya. Since you pernah jump to like a lot of company, you pernah like US culture, even culture kan. So different culture ni kan, what are the tips yang you selalu told yourself so that you boleh how macam submerge itu dia orang punya culture, so that you rasa comfortable and boleh progress lah your career.
Okay. One thing yang saya selalu emphasize juga, you have to be self-driven dengan flexible. Kalau you see the company yang saya join tu kan, kebanyakan some of it not even related pun. Contohnya macam construction, and then you go for solar industry, and then electronic, and then now oil and gas pula kan.
Yep.
Okay. So they varies. So you have to be flexible. You have to be flexible dengan self learning lah. Okay. Saya bagi example dulu. When I first join PC Methanol dulu kan, dulu onboarding dia tak macam sekarang, kadang-kadang you have to learn by yourself. Saya duduk 2 minggu je tu. Lagi pun waktu tu ada apa tu, Alpinia punya insiden tu kan. So just imagine saya duduk 2 minggu dekat yang kita punya computer punya room tu, ICT punya room tu kan. So nobody tell you what to do, nobody tell you apa you punya task, apa semua tu you duduk sana saja. Selama 2 minggu. So when it comes to flexibility, saya cakap tadi tu, either you ikut saja macam tu, ataupun what I did during that time was kita boleh access common punya folder, so I read through all the document dalam sana. Okay. So my function waktu tu is assurance punya exec kan. So basically as assurance punya exec, I need to know dia punya requirement kan. So I search what is Petronas punya requirement. So you tengoklah, you baca PTS, you baca DBOK, waktu tu ada governance DBOK tu kan. Okay. You baca IPOC. Okay. So basically you learn through reading tu. So macam my advice untuk macam kalau new staff yang join kan, kalau boleh kita jangan tunggu sampai orang nama, spoon feed lah juga kan. Okay. So ambil opportunity tu untuk learn. Okay. And then satu lagi example yang saya boleh bagi tu during TA dulu, I think in 2014 ataupun 14 macam tu lah. Okay. Even some of the senior staff yang join dulu macam Hassan kan, Hassan Abdul Raji tu kan, dia dulu from external juga. Okay. So dia bagi example yang almost similar jugalah. Contohnya dia orang buat burner punya adjustment waktu tu. Okay. So kita ada TP dari center yang datang pukul 1 pagi untuk buat burner adjustment tu. And then kita punya staff macam don't take that opportunity. Kadang-kadang some engineer kan, dia yang engineer tu, they don't take that opportunity untuk learn tu. Dia perlu macam diminta request untuk datang tengok dan baru datang tengok dan belajar kan. Okay. I think when you know there's an opportunity sana, you grab that opportunity. Jangan tunggu sampai orang bagi tahu ada orang buat adjust burner ni, you tolong minta datang pelan. Tak perlulah you drag di sana apa semua tu kan. So you take the opportunity. Dan satu lagi example waktu shutdown dulu adalah bila dia orang buka Mac tu. Okay, Mac-nya Classic tu kan. Okay. So kita punya Mac dekat Pelantu ni, bila dia buka tu, I think once in 10 years lah dia orang cakap. Okay. So the last yang dia orang buka hari tu is 2014 punya. Okay. So as a engineer yang involved dengan rotating kan contohnya kan untuk Mac tu kan. So you should able to macam take the opportunity untuk tengok lah macam mana people buat maintenance untuk Mac tu kan. Okay. So that thing happen once in 10 years. Okay. So the next opportunity tu mungkin you kena tunggu lama lagi. So you don't wait for people to ask you to go and check sana. You tahu benda tu ada, then you take opportunity. You ask from your from your leader ke apa semua kan. You want to learn more sana kan. Okay. So itu yang saya maksud saya lah. Okay. Sama juga when I join from different company kan, I always take the initiative. You buat you punya self learning punya. Okay. Rather than you being kena instruct ataupun kena suruh pergi tengok kan. Okay, right? Okay, thank you for the questions. Yang lain ada? Sorry, I'm gonna drag sikit. Saya tak time saya punya tadi. Ada soalan lain? And then for me, learning dari segi technical punya knowledge you can learn. You can learn. So, contohnya bila saya join first dulu kan kita buat multi layer ceramic capacitor kan. Dekat universiti kita tak ada diajar benda tu kan. Okay? Ataupun belajar on how to buat solar wafer and develop airport macam tu kan. Okay? Something that you don't learn pun. So those kind of skill, technical skill you can learn. You boleh learn from reading apa semua tu. Yang paling penting tu you punya attitude sebenarnya. Attitude to works tu. Okay? How serious you towards work, how committed are you towards work tu. Itu yang penting. Okay? Alright. Ada soalan lain? Yang lain okey. Agak lengthy sikit lah.
Yang lain ada apa-apa soalan boleh tanya sementara Cik Masri boleh share lagi sikit-sikit.
Yeah. And then based on my working experience kan, kadang-kadang when you want to learn leadership ni, kadang-kadang it's not necessary from your immediate superior. So it could be from your other superior contohnya. Okay, jadi macam you punya mentor lah kan. Okay, you learn from dia orang punya ni. Okay, so if you have a good immediate superior, that will help in terms of building you punya leadership lah. Okay, but it's not necessary your immediate superior. You can refer to ataupun model some other leader yang you rasa sesuai. So itu saya cakap tadi, leadership is about the action of that person tu dengan the example yang dia set tu. It's not because of dia punya title. Okay? Okay, ada soalan lain?
Okay, Kak Ju, kalau tak ada kita ni proceed Kak Ju.
Betul.
Okey, kalau
Okay, kalau
tak
tak ada,
ada soalan,
thank you.
okay. Okay, thank you Cik Masri. And I think kalau ada apa-apa soalan, rasanya macam a few things yang Cik Masri share dalam ni macam 4M, 60%, 40%. Lepas tu dia punya experience kerja dengan a few people yang memang different lah, Japanese, Malaysian sama yang di Europe tu lah. So I think itu boleh ambil untuk kita punya motivasi untuk menjadi seorang leader. Okey, ada apa-apa lagi Cik Najmi?
Saya tiada.
Okay, saya rasa kalau macam tu, thank you to everybody. And I think itu saja buat masa ni lah. Okay,
Okay,
thank you
alright.
everybody.
Okay, thank you Mas,
Okay,
thank you semua.
Thank you all. Right.
Okay, bye. Assalamualaikum.
Okay, thank you. Bye.